Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another scene for the living world of darkness, Rage Across New York, wherein 10 Point is right at home where she's meant to be, at least for the moment, probably having done her Twilight song not too long ago, and is simply waiting on the porch attentively for one of her Ryas to return.
And eventually, after taking the extra long route of coming home from seeing his first wife, he'll take an usual hour. He will come back and do his DeLorean patrol. And eventually 10 Point will see him just actually running at the edge while carrying some beer with him, basically. It looks like he stopped off somewhere to have some home beer when he came back from being a guardian. And he will walk up onto the porch and just sit down, still beads of sweat dripping down his face, and he will nod at 10 Point and open one of the bottles.
And 10 Point, in that way she always does when things aren't especially promising. That annoying thing she does. Well, instead of perching herself alongside Aiden's ankle, which is generally her preferred spot, even if she's working on something completely different and they're not even engaging, in this case, we'll move around in front of him before perching on her knees.
He'll take a long sip of the beer and close his eyes, and you'll almost hear like, yeah. And he'll then look at 10 Point. Something to say, Omega?
Yes, Raya.
All right. Stretch. Go for it.
Raya, I realized with as much as you are open to me in the pack link, it is unfair for me to be anything less. And she starts rooting in her magpie swag.
Raises a curious eyebrow.
And she'll pull out this delicately wrapped little bundle and will set it in front of her. And she hasn't been walling herself off from the link. She hasn't been projecting herself into it and just spilling out, but it's been easy enough to, like, with essentially a mental glance to get an assessment of her. But at the moment, she has slammed the wall up, and with that in place, we'll place this little bundle just in front of his feet and start delicately unwrapping the what turns out to look like a handkerchief, probably one of the ones that Balian has discarded because of some little stain or fray. And as she unwraps it, there's a bit of bone in there. And by the time it is fully laid out into this perfect square, probably embroidered, and probably in fact does have a little frayed corner, the more compelling part is that there's a little skull chilling in the middle there. That is definitely a bird of prey of some sort, a fairly small one.
Raises an eyebrow.
The chimney
What's that? Chimney.
Yes, Raya.
Okay. What's the chimney for?
And she gestures vaguely upwards towards the roof of the cabin. I mean, it's night, so there aren't a bunch of pigeons being especially alert or making a lot of noise. If there are any up there, they're probably huddled down. For the eyes and ears that look over the pack, Raya, the pigeons asked in return that I be their savior against the predators that hunt them in the city.
All right. It's good, I suppose. So why are you confessing to me about this?
She kind of knits her brow for a second. glances up. Like again, it's not one of those direct look really to the face. It's that little glance to just assess his expression and whatnot and try to decide if he's fucking with her.
He'll smile at her. I'm guessing this chiminage obviously carries a very heavy price if you're dumping that bird of prey skull to me. Something that you think I'm going to be angry about.
Raya, the most prevalent predator of the pigeons in the city are falcons.
I see. He takes a long drink. Like, oh, fuck's sake. Right, I had a suspicion, but I was hoping it was not that.
And with that brought up and flat out said in the open, he may or may not recall that a number of her arrows at this point are fletched with bird of prey feathers, and they probably came from the same place.
I'm gonna take a rage, and his boot immediately just taps her foot to the point where she flops on her back.
Like kicking her back?
Yep.
Yep. She'll give a woof at the impact and tumbles onto her back.
He's that annoyed since he took a rage. He will roll damage.
Let's see it.
Oh! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, that's one hell of a boot. Jesus. Let's see how much she soaks.
She soaked all of it.
So she soaks the damage. The force isn't exactly going to be nothing. She's still going to get booted back and onto her back. It's just not going to be... there's no dig of toe or heel or anything like that. It's not force enough to crack anything. It's just enough to topple her over.
Right. Okay. Just when you want a pleasant drink in the evening, you gotta sit forward. So you're going around killing our betas, tribe totem.
I'm not killing spirits, Raya.
Okay.
And it's only one a month.
Okay.
And she's edged down the wall, and she says one a month, and then after a moment's pause, there's kind of a wave of guilt, and she moves to correct herself. It will now be one a month.
Oh. You get up. Take a long sip of the beer, and we'll plant his foot down. I'll roll my dex brawl. Oh.
Don't forget, she's prone -2 difficulty.
That's take away the 10 and the 9. That's 3 successes.
I assume this implies a stomp.
Ooh. Yep. Oh, Jesus. That's 4 for you to soak.
2 taken.
He stomps right down on her chest, just boom, with all sorts of force, basically, because he's wearing boots as well. It's going to hurt.
You can practically hear the bones creaking, though nothing snaps. It sure as hell, literally forces a puff of breath out of her. Just because there's only so much room for the lungs under the boot.
And very calmly, he will spend a rage, and he will do it again. Oh Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, Aiden.
Don't forget that -2 diff, buddy.
Oh no, that's 7. Oh no. Oh. That's number 4.
That's another 2.
So another moving faster than he should be spent rage will stamp again, basically.
This time there is, in fact, an audible crack. And about that point, considering there's There's damage all the way down into the bones that's taking place. There's probably a nasty bruise on her chest right now. There'll be the presence of tears because that is a lot.
He will crack his neck and take a long drink. Now I've just had a day where I've had to watch that other girl hide stuff from me because she's getting sicker and sicker. And you bring me this. He'll have his back to her as he's taking a drink.
And she is, well, rapidly knitting. Her breath finally kind of evening out some between the amount forced out of her lungs and the pain of having to inhale with what was probably at least a cracked rib. She'll finally start calming down to the point where she can breathe enough to speak. You told me not to keep secrets, Raya.
I did. He'll grip the bottle in his hand. So, I'm assuming you don't want me to tell Balian.
And there will be not a wave that leaks out, but right there, right at the top, most forefront in the pack link, is just this incredible sort of despair. Please, Raya. I've taken all the proper steps. I put their spirits to rest. I kill only what I need to maintain the contract.
Okay. Have you told anyone else about this?
No, Raya.
Are you lying to me? He'll say very coldly.
And that's about where she doesn't often make that gesture, but the hands come up and surrender, really. No, Raya.
Good. Because if you had, well, that would have been a problem.
No. I spoke to Jacob, but I did not tell him the details.
You spoke to Jacob, and that's when the whirl happens, and he is right in her face, like menacingly close.
Considering she is on her back and he is suddenly in her face. He not only crossed the distance, but got down real fast.
And he even breaks the bottle. You know?
You can hear her back kind of grinding against the floorboard. In an attempt, there's like that initial little squirm that's like, oh, if only I could go just a little deeper.
And, you know, with the edge of the bottle, he'll look at her, you know, looking at it as he's like tracing it downwards, just missing the point past her eye so it doesn't like mark her, but just skids past slowly, deliberately. You talk to Jacob about pack business.
No, Raya. Not like that.
Are you lying to me?
I had thought I could use an example to earn more of his sympathies. I did not tell him the details, Raya.
He'll look at her long and hard as the broken bottle, sharp point goes past her other eye, deliberately, slowly.
She's trying very, very hard not to look at it, but there is occasionally, especially if it gets so close, there'll be like the stray glance and that tension of body, and then she looks up again.
And why are you telling me this?
No secrets, Raya.
And why didn't you tell Balian? If there's no secrets. And that's when the smile emerges.
Oh, she hasn't seen that smile in a long time. Raya, our beta trusts me to do my duty as a Theurge. And if he were to know, emotion and pride would come into it instead of facts. There can be no negative impact. This will not affect Balian. His spirit, Falcon, will never speak to me. I do my hunt. I pray for their spirits. I send them back into the cycle. And I make sure that I make proper use of the bodies so that they are not simply discarded.
He will faintly, with the edge of the glass, trace along, starting from her lip to her ear. Like, he won't cut, basically, but he'll mimic like he's going to, basically, so, like, she can feel it kind of touch her skin lightly.
And the second it touches her skin, she stops talking. Doesn't want him to have an excuse to slip. And while
So you're
she's
afraid
not...
he'll snap, is that? He'll snap, is that it?
It would take so little for him to decide I wasn't worth keeping anymore.
And you want me to keep a secret for you?
And her voice cracks a bit.
As the bottle goes along her other side, right, stopping right at the ear and then tracing right back, so it stops at the edge of her lip.
That could potentially be part of the reason for the voice crack as she goes, Raya, you told me not to keep secrets from you.
And now you're asking me to keep a secret? Well, that's hardly fair, is it? And it'll start dotting, like he's almost going tap, 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 right up, just stopping at the point between her eyelid to her eyeball.
Oh, her eyes close. Nope. That is singularly horrifying. The eyes close.
And he will look at her, open your eyes, and don't you dare close them again.
She visibly swallows and opens her eyes again.
And she's greeted by that smiley face.
I could never ask you, Raya. The best I can do is beg you, please, not to tell him.
Begging me now, that's interesting. He'll twist his head. I'm not going to make you beg me. No. That's weird. Sadistic, even. And I'm not a sadist. Tip, tip, tip along the nose and stops right at the other eyeball. With meticulous detail, I might add. How meticulously gentle he is.
She goes very quiet, and you can tell she is listening so hard that she's trying to listen over the sound of her heart hammering in her ears, and there's a strain. She's very
So
quiet and very still.
You're loyal to this pack, correct, Tim Point?
Yes, Raya.
And who out of this pack are you the most loyal to now?
Oh, that is such a bad question. She she actually kind of curls up a little bit. Not enough that her arms or legs are getting in his way, but they kind of curl in. And that she seems to be having trouble with the answer. Wouldn't you know it?
Who's going to take care of you and never let Balian know what you told me? Because that's what family does for each other, doesn't it? And that's what you do for family, isn't that right? Even hurt them because you know you love them so much. Am I right, 10 point? And as the bottle point will go down her cheek and follow right up to her lip.
Yes, Raya.
So who are you incredibly loyal to the most out of us? Well, Banshee's away, of course. Because she's the alpha.
You, Raya.
What's that?
To you, Raya.
Good. He just studies her for a sec. I'm not going to give you a Glasgow smile, don't worry. You gave me the right answer.
She doesn't look especially convinced. She is no less tense.
So, do your chiminage, make sure this pack is protected, and do your job. But remember, any big mistake, and the bottle goes, and I mean it skids past her eyes to the point where it probably nicks a bit of flesh on the side of her, the side of the skin, into the fucking ground, into the wood.
Yep, she, especially with even the slight nick. I mean, if you've ever cut yourself badly enough or with a sharp enough object, it takes a second for pain to bloom normally. But she's getting nicked with a shattered bottle. So she feels that pain and hears the crash, and she, thrashes to the side.
And I'll make sure Balin knows every sordid little detail. And I'll watch what he does. Do you understand?
Yes, Raya.
Well done. He'll tap her cheek with his palm. I'm proud of you.
There's the faintest little glimmer of hope that he's being earnest.
You can peony that if you want to.
Sure, I'll roll it. She needs approval enough to look for it. Oh, Jesus. The best peony ever.
Oh wow. Okay. You get the impression he is very pleased with what you just said. Very pleased. In fact, he is incredibly happy.
Thank you, Raya.
Very good.
She starts calming down a little bit. Just a little bit.
He'll get up. Now, have yourself a drink. You deserve it. And he'll walk over and take one of the bottles out, and we'll walk over very smiley here. You notice he's taking 3 out.
She is not going to ask why he's taking 3.
Then with the first bottle, he will swing the body. 1, 2, 3. How much is the bottle?
I assume it's not a lot of extra damage.
3 + 1, maybe?
I mean, fuck, I'll give it to you. It's harder than a fist is.
Soak that, please. that's 3.
She's picking on nothing. She didn't soak any of it. Heh.
So he takes out 3, puts 2 in his jacket, and with the first bottle, reverses it and just whoosh, right into the ribs.
Yep. I will say that she has gotten partway back up into a kneel in light of the fact that he has offered convincing approval. So she's not quite prone, But yeah, she still takes it, and it is. I'll say that's what, 4 successes, 3. That's 3 successes. So maybe enough, maybe not enough to shatter the bottle. Well, no, it's +1. Da, 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 da. Yeah, fuck it. I figure 3 is enough to shatter a bottle. So yeah, it actually like shatters against her side, and you know, the damage to the rib, the bruising was bad enough. The shards of glass not helping. She doesn't quite keel over. In fact, she catches herself with the opposite arm.
And he will, almost like a demon, will reach over and catch her by the throat and lift her head up so she's looking right into those manic eyes of his. That's how you remember it. Pain always is a good lesson.
Pain retains, Raya.
Good. And he will slide out his hand, smiling, and let go of her throat and put the bottle into her hand. And we'll walk over, sit down, take out a breath, and we'll open up that drink.
And she'll be holding the bottle and considering the threat that was made. And the fact that there were missed details, she will simply ask before she even opens it, still holding it, arm still up from where he's handed it to her. Do you want the details, Raya?
I know enough. You protect this pack. I'll keep your secret. Don't you worry. After all, we'll do anything for family. He'll take a drink, staring at her with that manic smile.
She nods very, very slightly, and I'm going to go ahead and pass the link as promised. Other peeps. But she nods very slightly and will pause first to pluck a couple pieces of glass out of her torn up side before it can knit so much that they end up trapped under her skin. And flicks them off to the side. And with her shirt a bit torn, will tentatively begin to move back over to perch in that spot next to his seat, right by his ankle, where she normally does.
And he'll sit and drink and stare at her. Well, drink 10 point.
And yeah, she, with that prompting, goes ahead and probably has to like grab up some of the extra skirt fabric and stuff to actually get that cap off, but nonetheless manages to pop it off, and without looking will reach back over her head and plop it on the table. And looking over, perhaps unconsciously, at the rest of the shattered glass on the porch, will go ahead and drink from the bottle.
It's thick German beer, basically.
But yep, she just fucking drinks it. She doesn't even... She takes down the resist toxin and everything.
It's not bad stuff, this. Look over at her.
I have had few opportunities to drink, Ryan, but this is good.
You should try it more often. It's not bad.
I don't have money, Raya, and what is the Pax is not necessarily mine without permission.
I'll allow you to take one bottle every day if you'd like.
Thank you, Rhea.
After all, I've been drinking a lot more as well. And take a long drink.
She will echo the gesture. Take a good long swig out of the bottle. And
Yeah,
nest herself up pretty close to the side of his chair.
They'll sit and drink unless anyone wants to creep in, basically.
Well, okay. So, yeah. Felix is walking on by and spots them drinking, and he looks. And then he waves.
They wave back, I'm assuming.
They do indeed.
Hey, coming over, Felix? There'd be a shout.
Sure. What are we celebrating?
Just thought I'd have a drink. Been a long day. 10-point egg seems to agree.
10-point nods faintly, and in light of the fact that Felix may be coming onto the porch, we'll go ahead and rouse up from her spot. Set the bottle on the table for the moment and reach inside for the room.
When Felix notices there's alcohol there and there's broken shards everywhere as well.
Yep, she's attending to the shattered remains of what must have been a full bottle because there's a wet spot as well.
Huh.
And actually, there's a good 2 bottles worth of glass there and recognizable necks.
Ugh. Who pissed you off this time, Aiden?
Roll some subterfuge. Whoa. Absolute nothing, Felix, with 6 successes.
Yeah, can't even. But, yeah, I'll just be like, huh.
Just had a wee accident.
Well, it's not good to waste beer like that. But, you know, shit happens.
And once the glass is disposed of, 10-point will go back, grab her bottle, and perch down again right next to Aiden's seat.
Have yourself one.
Oh, no. I think I'll be fine without. I do know one thing I want to do, though. And he pulls out his glass pipe.
Oh,
And a little
shit.
baggie.
I had a talk with Dallas. I'm assuming Felix is sitting down.
Sorry, what was that?
He basically says, I had a talk with Dallas. I'm assuming Felix is sitting down.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to stand up and get high. That's a terrible idea. But, yeah, he sits back and even, like, reclines. And before he lights up, he says, oh?
Yeah. Yeah, we had a talk about her little girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
She's dating her, Felix.
His funeral, I guess.
We'll have 10-point do a check. She's clear. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, her funeral, sorry. But, right. Well, clearly hasn't eaten her arm yet, so.
Nah, we just shrug. So, you talked to Eric yet, Felix? And he'll take a drink.
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. I'm waiting to hear from the man.
He's a busy guy. Figure I'll wait for the right moment. Me, him, and some beers.
It's a good idea.
At some point, it's going to do something anomalous. Reach into her bag and pull out a little box of matches, and then reach again and finally produce that that fucking joint they rolled for her ages ago. And without a word, it's going to light it, and yeah, has already tipped back the bottle and emptied it.
And just give a kind of look at Felix and then look at 10 Point, kind of surprised.
Yeah. Felix is watching intently.
There's a sputter on the first pull, but yeah, she's kind of just doing her thing, and when she realizes she's being stared at twice over, just kind of slowly lowers the joint.
No. Go ahead.
No. Don't let us stop you. He'll reach over to his phone and he'll put on smoke weed every day.
Da. The motherfucking D-O-double-G.
They'll probably do that at the same time as well, looking at her.
Then she shrugs and just goes back to what she was doing.
Come on, 10 Point. Get blazed.
Oh,
Have you ever tried ecstasy before? 10 Point. He'll look at her quite curiously.
He asks, and she coughs out the lungful she was holding, and quickly shakes her head as she's coughing.
Might be an interesting experience.
Considering the nature of the drug, Raya, perhaps not wise.
You ever tried LSD before?
No, Raya.
Magic mushrooms? Raises an eyebrow.
I have only partaken in what is appropriate for very particular rituals, Raya. And even then, rarely.
Do you know, our ancestors used to take magic mushrooms to become closer to the gods.
I was not considered to be of value enough to partake in certain rites, Raya.
Ah, looks over at Felix. We might have a trip for ourselves then.
Right. Definitely not tonight. I tell you.
Oh, I'm not going to mean tonight. He kind of looks like, no, don't be silly. You ever been to a Fianna festival, Felix?
There was that one time we all got naked and painted up. Does that count?
No, Felix. You kind of just give him a stare. That's us preparing for battle.
Right.
There's festivals at every equinox, particularly the one Beltane. You lose your fucking mind at that. You smile. And some of us like to take a lot of drugs and get closer. A lot of the psychedelics, magic mushrooms especially.
Yeah, it sounds like a litany breach waiting to happen.
I was going to say, he says get closer. 10 Point is partaking in the slightest amount of side-eye that you've ever seen anyone partake in, but it's still happening.
Rub his hair. There's been a couple of metas born.
Yeah, a couple minutes, but
whatever. He just did this kind of side shrug.
Semantics.
Technicalities, we could take a drink and kind of look at them. But it's not about fucking each other. No, it's not that at all. That's actually what the common people miss about these fests. These things are honoring the gods, Felix. Gods of our people, our ancestors. We get closer to them.
Right.
We should try it. You'd smile at him.
I don't know.
Why not, Felix? Lose yourself in the world of the shroom. You never know what you might see.
If, much like 10 Point, if a right calls for it and I find myself in desperate need of losing myself one night, I will give you a call.
It's not about losing yourself. It's about coming out of yourself. Do you know? For example, when I take it, I feel like I'm. It's not like I'm wanting to get high and fuck everybody. No, not that. It's like you're seeing a new side of yourself because your mind opens up. It's why I paint myself in the bottle, Felix. Because at the end of the day, we could die at any minute, and I would die ready to see the gods again, see my home again.
Yes. Fastwalkers, yeah, we have different holidays. Only 3 really, but only 1 or 2 are particularly happy, I guess.
Well, maybe you should have a Fiona one. See how you feel. I guarantee you'd be a changed man. And smile as he takes a drink.
All the many things that have happened to me, still feel like the same man. In many ways.
Those twins, and one of those vessels might change your mind. He'd wink playful. It's very playful. The wink.
I am going to have all of the sex with those twins. Yeah.
So you should. They're fine. They're fine. Got fine hips at them, Felix.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Get a good number of babies out of them. You'd smile at them.
Yep.
I mean, maybe even get yourself a wife. You'd wink again, playfully, incredibly playfully.
Oh, no. Well, thoughts cross my mind. But I'm really, really trying to focus on my work right now.
Oh, I get you, Felix. Don't worry. With a smile. I'm just saying. It'd be nice to see you loosen up a bit.
What do I have this for?
How's your pack holding up?
Everybody's doing their own thing, their own way.
We should all get together and do that fucking plastics company. That might actually put us in some cheery form.
Every once in a while, we get together at Skavgard's and have a meal and watch TV.
Seems nice.
Yes.
We should show you a movie at some point and look over.
She at this point has probably relaxed enough to she was leaning on the side of his chair before. At this point, if there's not an arm on it, she's probably practically leaning her head on his leg. Laxed out pretty fucking hard and just kind of blinks up. Isn't avoiding his face at the moment because, well, that joint though.
Da, 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
Alright, fuck it. I'm gonna do it again. Da, 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 da. Hey, look, I failed. Nothing. That was curiosity followed by a peony.
We should watch a movie.
What movie?
What movie should we show 10 Point, Felix?
And she will, of course, shift her head slightly, look over to Felix, and reassure him with, I've already seen Bambi.
Okay, well, there goes one. Honestly, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Just assumes every time someone's going to show her a movie, it's going to be Bambi for the millionth time.
We could show her Hunchback of Notre Dame.
What is with you people in cartoons?
Fine, what will we show her then? Who smile warmly? Movies we see.
Yeah, those are good for a laugh.
I know the one we could show her. And grin at him.
Oh, which
Oh,
one?
the sparkles.
No,
Sparkly.
no. And his smile fades a little bit. He takes another hit. I didn't see that one with Benicio del Toro. It's a newer one. One looked all right, but
Which one's that?
it's the Wolfman or something like that.
I mean, if you want to watch a movie about werewolves, we can.
They can't make movies about werewolves. They don't know what they are.
They got a couple of things right.
There's a few.
She looks thoroughly perplexed by this, like to a degree.
I mean, they don't get everything right, do you know?
No, but our ancestors were inexperienced and reckless the millennia ago. But and these reckless accounts have been recorded and exaggerated and fictionalized over countless years.
She like bobbles her head. This Sympergium nigger. She does the little hand motion and everything. Nigger.
Yeah, Felix is going to take another drag.
Aiden takes another long drink of his drink.
She seems to have forgotten that the joint is in her fingers. She will probably forget until it burns her.
Oh no! You're wasting it, man.
Does he actually say that? Perhaps not in that tone.
You're wasting it, man.
No, he gave it to her, so it's hers to do whatever she wants with, but I can explain after the scene.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, have you ever had taken a hit from a bong, 10 point?
Shakes her head, is wobbling on the side of his leg, like, no.
We need to get a bong, Felix.
And after shaking her head, blinks a few times. And then looks up. I'm dizzy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He'll smile. Keep dragging your waist on it.
Blink. Checks the wrong hand first. Checks the other hand. Takes another fucking hit.
Aiden put on some Cypress Hill. Taking hits from the ball.
No, at this point, like, no manner of curiosity rolls could pull this back. What's got you so lively, 10 point?
She seems confused for a second. And like starts to answer. And then after a moment of pause, kind of like grabs a hold of the leg of the chair. Can you make the porch stop? I want to get off.
There's no guy in gift for that, my friend.
Oh, you're as stoned as shite.
Blink.
Just go with it.
Ride the wave.
Ride it.
It can probably be assumed as she takes yet another hit that the only reason she's maintaining this high is that, Jesus Christ, she shouldn't be hitting this thing that hard.
Oh no.
Between her low tolerance but her regeneration, she's somehow balancing out to staying fucking high.
So what do you think about Tlatahim being made alpha, Felix?
It's none of my business.
I was thinking the same thing. Smile at him, quite giggling. He takes a sip.
Means, well, stupid. And less than a menace. That's sad.
There you go. It's sad, isn't it? You can take a drink.
It's really sad.
Shit, I'll drink.
Right?
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink. Fuck it. You like clink bottles with Felix.
No, that's sad. Why would you want to be less than a menace?
He's in rocking the stomach tonight.
Some people believe that they're equals.
But that's wrong. 'Cause they're not.
Why is that 10 point? You look at her in her high state. She takes
Because they're made by the worm, and the worm's bad.
Ow. You heard it yourself, Felix. The worm's bad. He looks at Felix with a smile.
You know, I had my doubts, but
I wasn't too sure there, yeah.
Yeah, she like rolls a look over at Felix, takes a second to reacclimate to the spinning porch. No, it's really bad.
yeah. Yeah.
Anything else you want to get off your chest, Unload?
She looks lost in thought now. She like does that roll back your eyes to think about something and just kind of stays there.
Actually, Felix is like scoot over and like the both of them scoot near 10 point. Let's ask my Omega a few questions on.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 point. Kick his fingers like in her face so she's a bit more aware.
Yep. Her eyes are almost focused. That's good.
Let's have your opinion on each of the packs then.
What?
I want me and Felix are wondering your opinions on each of the packs.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start off with these ones. The Striders of Ice and Concrete.
Oh God, hold on. Let me think of how to phrase her opinion as simply as possible. They're stuck up, but Jacob's nice, even if he's stuck up. Grin.
I mean, he kind of actually looks at Felix. It's not a bad assessment, actually.
There's a bit of a shrug. Felix just says, "Yeah, I figure we're going in a circle now." Felix goes, "I don't know. It's a weird feeling, like like we used to be friends. We used to be, I wouldn't say close, but you know. And then something big happened, and I don't know. It's like strangers. Or if we look at each other, especially me and Chloe, if we look at each other, there's a mix between guilt and just unhappiness.
That's sad.
So would you
Yeah.
say she's just a friend? Would you say she's just a friend, Felix?
Oh, Aiden, you. You know what I mean.
Oh, I know, I'm just teasing with it. I know. I get the impression that once they don't like you, they really don't like you. And it's a bit fickle, and it kind of frustrates me.
That's okay. Jacob likes me. Pats his leg.
He just gives her like a stare. All right then. Okay, Shadowrunners then.
Mm.
Blink. Again, let Katie take a second. Make this as goofy and concise as possible. She really fights with it because there's quite the interesting makeup of characters there. And she finally just settles for, they're weird.
They're weird.
They don't make any sense.
How so?
Because Teresa's real good. And Saoirse's your friend. But I don't like the others. They're stupid.
Okay. All right then. Suppose it is a bit odd from Saoirse's perspective, but hey. Kuma's an idiot. He just says very just bluntly as he takes a drink.
Dramatic, like, wobble nod. Pause. Grabs the leg of the chair again to stay upright.
Now I don't really know Kumba, and I don't really know Alana.
He just bites his tongue. You can see visibly the dislike on his face.
Yeah. And he just points. He's like, yeah, I believe me, I feel you. But when I think of them, I think about when we faced off against that elder god, the Amazon. I always think about how they were on the team that was supposed to deal with the rocks. You know, the rocks that were given.
I remember. I was there.
You remember that? Well, yeah, you were on their team, weren't you? You were on that team.
Yep.
We had the perfect. We distracted an elder god. That's how I got my fucking name.
Mm-hmm.
Did you rock his socks?
I rocked his socks.
I remember. And then fucking Alana picked up one of the rocks and fucking blew the cover.
And I think about that every time.
Do you remember? Did you see what I did?
Yeah, you threw a menace.
10-point proceeds to dissolve into helpless giggles.
Picked up Forlorn and threw him right at him. I picked up fucking calls as well, remember? And threw her across the fucking thing as well.
Yeah. He still didn't see you.
Exactly. That's how I got my nickname, Strikes Unseen. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh shit.
Go smile. Okay then. Missed 10 points. Who else have we got? Fuck. Oh, there we go. Children of the Spirit was. Let's hear this one. You gotta lean back.
No, it's sad.
Well, go on, come on.
Why would you want to be less than a menace? It's so sad.
Anything else?
I think okay. No, I think when you don't think about that. All right, try not to think about it. I know you want to think about that, but try not to think about that.
But it's a thing, and he did it.
It's a thing, but bear with me. It makes sense.
But it doesn't, because he's a real guru.
Yeah, but he is an arm, and
Okay.
he is unstable.
Oh.
When you think about it, who would you rather have? Now, I know Tlatine is what she is. And it does bother me, I'm not going to lie. But think about it. Who would you rather have?
But she does her job.
Precisely. Would you rather have William White lead with a pack?
She
Or would you have,
begins to shake her head. She's laying on the ground now, so she's kind of rocking as she does so.
or would you rather have Tlatine, who does her job? And you know what she'll do? And he'll look at Felix with a big smile on his face. She'll put him in his place, in front of everybody. Imagine the great William White seeing that.
Yes.
But let's see how he'll handle that. Because from what I remember, every time she criticized him, he went off and cried about it. And bitched. Now he can't because she's the alpha. In fact, he just signed his own grave, really, when you think about it, isn't it? 10 point. Well, I'm too happy to give a fuck, and he'll clink bottles with Felix.
10 point is trying and failing to get upright again.
And they dipped Achilles.
All right, then, my lady.
They dipped Achilles' feet in the river Styx.
Pretty much, aye. And it's great. I'm laughing at it so much. Okay, who else have we got? Whew. Okay, Felix is back.
It's not even a pack yet. Come on.
That's more or less one.
She continues to struggle to get upright. Eventually succeeds and is now gripping the chair leg for dear life. I don't know. I didn't even meet one yet. Wait. Yeah, I did. She was kind of... I think.
Kind of
Maybe.
what?
Kind of mean.
Shady, man. Shady will let you have it. And some, sometimes it really pisses me off, but like that's what a ragabash does.
Yes.
Odds.
But Shady, man, Shady has no filter. That's just boom. That's the way it is. Take it or leave it. But that, yeah. Believe it or not, Ripley, there, woo, yeah.
I see Shady's very good then. He'll look over at Felix, rolling some nips up, because he's like, oh, Shady's great, is she?
Literally can't beat that.
4. Shady? She seems good then, Felix, isn't it? Does she?
Mm-hmm. Of course, I haven't told her that because I don't know how she'd take it.
Oh God, tell me he's not leaking any of that.
There's a ping of jealousy.
Oh no. Why would you do this when she has no filter?
There's a ping.
Oh no.
It's like, oh, Shady's good. Good enough.
She flops back laughing again. It goes, you're jelly.
What? It'd be like a turn.
Oh,
You're so jelly.
no, see, no, you're a good Ragabash too, Aiden. It's not like that. It's
I am not jealous. You kind of have this indignant look in his face. I never get jealous. Why would I get jealous?
I don't know.
Besides, I'm a fostering. I'm a well experienced Ragabash. I don't know what you. Why would I be
That's
jealous
why
of Shady?
it's funny because you're better.
Grumbles,
She seems
whatever.
completely taken with mirth on this.
Whatever. Takes a drink. Not jealous. Awkward silence.
She continues giggling kind of manically because that fucking pot, though. Everything's funny now.
He'll turn and look over at Felix. So, like, what makes her so good then, Felix? He'll put his hands on his hips, you know.
well, Shady doesn't sugarcoat it. She's very blunt and
So I sugarcoat things. Kind of like raise an eyebrow.
Fresh bout of laughter.
No. That's Shady's. That's her thing, you know. Like no matter what it is, she just gives it to you.
Right, that's her thing. So what's my thing then?
God.
Oh, it's an oh god! You were chatting up Shady all over the moon there 5 minutes ago, but well, it's me. It's a sigh, smoke of a joint, and oh god, I see how it is.
You know,
Takes a drink.
don't be like that.
Fresh
don't be like
peal
what?
of laughter.
It's not like no. All right, if it makes you feel better, Shady has a tendency to well, what would you call it? Would you ragabash? Do you use it like a verb?
Yes, when you're ragabash, yes.
When you ragabash, Shady has a tendency to ragabash after the deed is already done. Adds insult to injury. And that's the part that makes me grumpy.
Okay.
Oh, don't be grumpy.
Still didn't say what my thing is then. Felix.
Your thing is the same as my thing. Kind of.
What's that?
Different. We
Kind of.
like it's well, yeah. I mean, like we're different people, obviously. Like-minded, but different. But we like the fast. We like the fast of it. Like to jump in head first.
Because if this fails, then he can. Oh god. So he'll take a long drink. Like I mean long, and you see his eyes kind of bulge. Do you mean that?
Well, yeah.
Did you? You look at right in Felix's eyes.
Yeah.
Because I'm not your whore, Felix. Do you understand? And his finger would wag.
No, it's not.
Oh
What?
no, she is curled up in helpless laughter, like under the chair at this point.
I'm not your side ragabash, do you understand? He points very drunkenly and poke him in the chest.
I've only got eyes for you, Aiden.
You fucking better. Because I'm not your whore, you understand? Poke in the chest, feel very drunk.
And he raises his arms like defensive, or not arms, his hands defensively. It's like, no, No, I got you, man. I got you.
I'm very sensitive about that.
Well,
Understand?
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Because you're my main tears, buddy. Pokes, you know.
The laughter finally subsides with a "Aww."
Yes, his eyes look over to 10 point, and then he shares a moment of oh.
Makes a little sad face, under the chair, where only really Felix can see it because he's at an angle.
And he like tap 10 point with shoe outside my pack, of course. But points again.
Oh,
But I'm not your whore, Felix. Do you understand?
10 point's
I
not
have
your whore
needs.
either.
But
I'm
she's my
not a
pack.
whore. That's bad.
That is bad.
No,
She's not your whore.
I never said she was. I
Exactly.
said no.
Yeah.
And then, like,
Yeah,
rubs his hair.
And then it's his point shifts from 10 point up to Aiden. He's like, yeah.
No. See, I said outside my pack, you're my tears, buddy. But you, no, you
No, you.
made Shady out. No, you made Shady out to be the greatest thing in the world. I have needs, Felix. He point at himself, quite drunkenly. Maybe I'm just a bit sensitive. Maybe too sensitive for you. I get it. You just
no,
dramatic, like head wave,
Oh my god. This is why I smoke.
This is why I drink. He reaches over, knocks over the bottle, and then picks it up and drinks again. You turn and look at Felix. I mean, you could have Shady as your ragabash buddy if you wanted to. He looked out of the ground.
I know.
Oh, you know, do you? The way he stopped himself. No, wait. I understand, Felix. I'm just saying.
I'm Aiden, I am no 2. I am at least a 9.5. Even though people like to look at any and every mistake that any person makes, because no matter what anyone says, you're not as good as your success. You're only as good as your biggest failure. Remember that.
He would touch Felix's face. I hate it when we fight.
Second, I got you.
Hang on.
Oh no! Don't do that one. No, this is gonna hurt me. Yeah. Little too close. Hang on. Jeez.
Oh, sorry. I had a bit too much because I botched his fucking stamina roll. So he is very drunk.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Hey.
But he looked at Felix quite intensely as 10 points of regaining consciousness.
While you're doing this ridiculous, creepy hair thing, you will hear, because apparently someone has showed 10-point bits of the internet at some point from under the chair, as her arms flail out in a gleeful fashion. Now kiss. Because everyone's seen that fucking meme of the person smacking 2 dolls together.
It's like he'd look at Felix for a brief second. No, I couldn't do that. I know who'll come after me then.
Yeah, your shiny new wife.
Yeah. But just remember, Felix, as the finger comes up, the finger of judgment.
No.
Just remember, Felix, I'm not your whore, okay?
Why do you keep saying that? No.
You need to treat me right.
I do treat you right.
Yeah.
Does he treat me right, 10 point?
She thinks about it. How much is he actually leaking his like, no.
No, yeah, he's here. No.
Yeah. Does he treat me right, 10 point? Thinks about it for a second. Nope.
See?
So there you go.
Takes another pull off the fucking joint. There's not much left.
Okay, I'm gonna make a stab roll, see, because he'll take another drink.
Halfway through the pull, burns her fingers, yelps. Fucking
he's good. He takes another drink and just
shoots
looks
it
at
off.
Felix. I'm just saying. You know?
Oh.
I fucking love you, Felix. He like rub his shoulder, basically. You know? Not in that way, no. Point finger
No.
adjustment comes up again. But like, you know, you're my best friend.
You're my best friend too, man.
Yeah, there. Aiden gives the bro hug, you know. You know what I mean?
10 point is judging nothing. She is now enthralled with the fact that the chair over her is also spinning.
All right. I'm gonna go to bed because I drank a bit too much, I think. Right. Points at 10 point. Sleep inside. You know, he'll just walk into the door, stop, and then open it, and then stumble in, basically.
He like says, sleep inside. She's like, yeah. Goes to get up. Hooks her antler on the chair. Flails helplessly.
Oh, no. Hey, easy.
You ever seen people like trying to get up on two bucks that are stuck together? It's that. There's periodically like bouts of random flailing, like, oh god, I'm stuck.
Yeah, he grabs the chair. Helps without touching her. He like tugs at the chair in the right ways, and
He can probably just like literally pull it up from over her, magically releasing that one hooked piece of antler. All she had to do was like backpedal a little, but no. And once freed, she does like most deer do, and like awkwardly bumblefucks her way off to freedom, into the door. Then opens the door, and manages not to get like stuck antler-wise on the door frame somehow. Though apparently the storm door shutting behind her, like slamming itself shut, startles the crap out of her because she doesn't even close the inside door. She just kind of yelps and dives off into the sitting area. Like, oh Jesus! Like launches herself off onto the couch. Takes shelter from the scary storm door.
Felix sits there on the porch for a minute, looking at the glass piece, and he thinks for a second in his head, and he starts to cry. Tears start running down his face, and after a time, wipes his eyes and gets up, starts walking home.
And on that touching note, we'll say thank you, players, for playing, watchers for watching. We'll see you next time on the Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.